Hi everyone, welcome to our next Ag Insider. I am out here in Arcade, New York at Breezy Hill Alpacas, and I am joined by some friends in the background and their owner, Chris Wolson. Chris, go ahead and tell us a little bit about these guys.
These are our girls. We have 5 newborn babies that were just born this summer. They're starting to grow up. Alpacas are normally used for wool. Their fiber is very thick and lengthy. It's very dense and warm, and that's why they're used for fiber. They were originated in the Andes Mountains, used by the Incas for their wool in the high altitudes. And that's about it.
Awesome. Now, what is the difference between an alpaca and a llama? Because I know that's a really common question and people get them confused very often.
There's 3 main differences. Alpacas are a lot smaller than a llama. A llama can get around 400 pounds or more. Alpacas don't grow to over the size of a human. Alpacas also make 3 times as much fiber as a llama would. These guys are bred for the fiber. Unlike a llama, their whole body can be shorn every year. And a llama, they can only shave their belly and their back once a year, and then their neck and legs every 3 years. They also, if you look at their ears, they have a lot straighter ear, and then we call the llama's ears a banana ear because it has a curve in it. It's very noticeable.
Awesome. Well, those are some great pointers so that we can visually tell that these are definitely alpacas here. And you said we have the females in this group. So what do we call a female alpaca?
We call them the dam.
The dam, and then what about the males?
The male is called the sire, and then the babies are called crias.
Crias, that's really interesting. So not lambs or calves or kids, but crias. All right, everyone. So we're gonna throw it back to you guys for a question.
This is Priscilla. She's one of our older females. She's about 7 years old, so she's about in her prime. She's had a couple babies, and she's been to the Erie County Fair a lot recently, actually. She's won a ton of ribbons and trophies there. If you zoom in, you can look into her fiber. She's a contaminated black, so she was true black, but she's now turning gray. If you look into her fiber, you can see those waves. That's called crimp. The more crimp, the better. Sometimes you can see different kind of wrinkles or a straight bit into it if there was stress in their life, if there was sickness. Maybe if their mother had a rough pregnancy, you can tell through their fiber. A lot of times the female is not used for the fiber due to them being pregnant. They don't get as much nutrients.
Awesome. Now, what do you feed them? Anything special while they're pregnant?
We have a grain mixture that basically gets them a lot of vitamins, minerals that they need extra for the baby. Sometimes, especially since they're not in their natural habitat, they don't get a lot of their natural vitamins or minerals. So we have to make sure that they get a ton of that.
Awesome. Good for the baby growing inside. Now, how long are they pregnant for?
They're pregnant for about 11 and a half, sometimes even 12 months.
Wow, pretty long time. Now you said she was 6, 7 years old?
She's about 7 years old. She'll be 8 in the summer.
And then how long do alpacas live?
Alpacas can live up to 15 to 25 years. 25 is really giving it that's really generous, but they can live quite long.
Now, do they like to have friends? Do they like to be by themselves?
These guys are herd animals. You have to have at least 2 of them. They do very well in a big herd. A lot of times they'll have a herd leader, which they'll lead them around. And the females, they'll lead them out into the pasture. They're a lot more protective than the others.
Okay, awesome. So right now Priscilla's probably wondering, hey, why am I over here getting all the attention and everybody else, all my friends are over here? Now, I noticed there is a pine Christmas tree there. Do they actually eat that?
Yep, they eat the needles right off of it. They also use it to itch. The needles give them extra nutrients that they don't normally get. It's very good for them, their diet, especially in the winter time when they don't have a lot of green grass.
Wow, what a great form of enrichment for them. And I see some over there. It looks like they literally ate all of the needles off already. Now, you mentioned grain for our pregnant moms, but what do they all eat on a daily basis? Do they go out on grass? Do they eat hay?
On a good summer day, they all get a ton of grass. We have a ton of pastures for them. We have a ton of hay for them, and that's about it. They get their water. We all have pails for them, and that's about all they get. We do give them all a little bit of grain because it's good for they can all get their minerals that they're all missing, but really they just live off the grass and the hay.
Wow, awesome. Now, they surely are not missing anything in their diet here. They all look so healthy, and you can tell that especially by these beautiful coats they have. Now, like sheep, do you shear these guys?
We shear them once a year. We shear them around in May, so then by the time in summer, they don't have this huge jacket on them, and they don't get heat exhaustion.
Well, it sounds like keeps them nice and comfy in the summer and cool and nice and warm in the winter. So this is probably prime time for these beautiful fibers. Now a question for you guys.
This is Lucky. He's 12 years old. He's been to the Erie County Fair many, many years, almost every year lately. And he's one of our most talented alpacas.
Now, I heard that Lucky can do some tricks.
Yes, he can. Lucky, can you shake? Shake, Lucky.
Now, speaking of their hooves, is there any special care that goes into taking care of them?
If you come around here, these guys have a pad on the bottom of their foot with 2 toenails. Their toenails need to be clipped around like twice a year. Their pad is pretty hard and dense, but that normally doesn't get trimmed or anything. Unless there's like splinters in it, they normally don't have any problems with that.
And then you mentioned something about their teeth, I believe.
Alpacas only have bottom teeth. If you look, he is a male, so he does have fighting teeth way in the back. I don't think you can see them. But most alpacas only have these bottom teeth that you can see.
Wow, and just a hard dental palate on top. Now, I know that sheep and goats and cattle have a similar mouth structure. Now, are these guys ruminants? Do they have a 4-compartment stomach or more or less?
These guys have 3-department stomach. They regurgitate their food to chew it down more. They also regurgitate it to spit it out at others as a defense.
I did hear a couple of them making some cooing noises at each other and spitting at each other. So kind of like sibling rivalry, huh?
Yep, especially with the boys around the girls. They're always fighting for the girl.
And then I noticed those hairy ears.
Yep, these guys don't have much hair on the inside of their ears, but they do have a lot on the outside. Just keeps them warm.
Now, do they have a good sense of hearing, smell, eyesight?
They have a pretty good sense of hearing, sight. It's pretty good, I guess. They smell pretty good. They're good at smelling weeds and stuff. If you look at the pastures, a lot of times there'll be big weeds they'll be growing because they won't eat them. They're very picky on what they eat.
So unlike dogs, and we've heard goats who like to eat just about everything, alpacas are a little more particular on what they eat here. Now, Lucky has this beautiful golden brown coat. I noticed that you guys have alpacas of all different colors.
Yeah, we have quite a lot of colors. They really differ from the browns to the grays to the blacks. They have spots a lot of times. We have a lot of black and white spotted ones. We have a couple with brown spots that are all white. There's gray, there's a rose gray, we have a couple of them. A lot of times we breed for the grays. That's a more common color that many people want in a product like socks or gloves.
Awesome. Now, you mentioned that Lucky here has been to the Erie County Fair many times. What goes into getting an alpaca ready to go to the fair and be in a show?
Right about now, when the weather starts turning a little warmer and more like summer, we start training them. We train them about twice a week, and we have little obstacles that they can work on. We work on just them walking with us. We do a lot of hikes out back in the woods. We go to friends' houses and hike with them. We get them used to water, sounds, different objects. Sometimes you have to walk a wagon next to them. Some very odd things that you have to do with them. But we just try to like desensitize them. And then by fair, they're pretty good.
Lucky says, I'm a pro at this.
He sure is.
All right, now a question for you guys.
A couple of our most common obstacles are a teeter-totter, a jump, and then we also have a bridge that we've made. And we have built these for ourselves so that we can train our animals for them. So here's Lucky. He's going to do them a demonstration for you.
Wow, way to go, Lucky and Chris. All right, so we just saw some awesome alpaca agility. And so obviously Chris here and his family love their alpacas, and you can do agility with them. You can breed them and raise crias to sell. You can also make wonderful products out of their fibers. And what's your favorite thing about being around these guys all the time?
I just love their attitude. They're so kind, so fuzzy and warm, and they can be quite goofy sometimes, and they make you smile.
They certainly do, and I think they smile sometimes too, because I've seen those bottom teeth on Lucky. All right, well, thank you so much for having us out here today, Chris, and we'll see you guys next time.